Hi, Jeff.
Hey, Meesha.
Welcome to yet another episode of the North Atlanta Real Estate Podcast with Meesha Wall.
And Jeff Ahi.
And talking about micro markets, let's discuss the city of Johns Creek.
Oh, that's a great idea. It's got a lot of in the news lately, right? So
Yes, for all the right reasons.
I think it was number one in U.S. News and World Report's cities to live in the United States, of all things.
Yeah, I know. I mean, the rankings are a good indicator of, how desirable a neighborhood is. But we live in the area and we can vouch for Johns Creek being vibrant, diverse, exciting, and so much new development coming along.
Yeah, super safe. Yeah, what's that new development they're building right there off of McGinnis Ferry?
Medley.
Medley, yeah.
Yeah, and Medley is this mixed-use 43-acre area similar to Avalon, which is in Alpharetta, and then we have Halcyon, which is in Cumming Forsyth. So I think Johns Creek was like, we need one to call our own, and they came up with Medley, which is very interesting because there's this huge building for Boston Scientific that came up before Medley. And I think one of the reasons was that Johns Creek got the bio-ready status. It was the first city in Georgia to get the bio-ready status. And what that means is it's a way for a city to signal to the life sciences industry that it has the infrastructure, land use policies, and business-friendly environment needed for growth. And I think, a Boston Scientific kind of caught on to it.
Yeah, because actually, Johns Creek, the history of, I hope I have this right because I didn't look it up again, but I think it was just, I guess, a new city in December of 2012, I think it was. So it's not a super old city. Like Alpharetta's been around since 1850, just dirt roads. But so Johns Creek is a new city. And
it was carved out of parts of Alpharetta, Duluth, and Suwanee.
Yeah, they were just right. It was unincorporated Fulton County at the time, and exactly correct. And they just sort of incorporated this into a new city.
Yeah, and they've left all other cities behind. Johns Creek High School is a fantastic school to go to. The safety here, the cultural impact that different cultures have had in Johns Creek is very noticeable.
Yeah, so no, it has a lot going for it. How about this? Why don't we do a quick by the numbers to give some people some context of how the sales and what the market looks like there. And then I think we have some personal stories we'll share, right?
Yes, and so the most expensive house in Johns Creek right now, as of this recording, is 170 Autry Trail. This is a $4 million estate.
Wow, must be a nice house.
Built in 2005. It's got 6 bedrooms, 7 full bathrooms, and 5 half bathrooms. And I think it's the kind of house that is perfect for entertainment because the more number of half bathrooms you have, it kind of lets a buyer or who wants to buy the house that this house is perfect for entertainment because guests generally use half bathrooms.
This one had a pool, so they can have big pool parties and everybody can run off and use their own bathroom.
Yes, and it's got 11,000 square feet.
Wow.
So not small, and it's got 2.7 acres.
Nice.
And the price per square foot of this gigantic house is $364.
So for a lot of people listening to us, maybe in other parts of the country, they're going to think that's a deal, right? That's pretty reasonable from a per square foot standpoint.
Absolutely. It's expensive by Georgia standards, but by California or New York City standards, maybe we're still affordable.
Yeah. So let's say we couldn't afford that. What if we were, all the way down towards the lower end? What is one of the most affordable homes you could find in Johns Creek?
Well, for a single family house, as of this recording, it's 180 Preston Oaks. Now, the house needs a lot of work. Yeah, it's off of Old Alabama. Yeah, it needs a lot of work, but you can buy it for the grand price of $419,000. It's got 4 bedrooms, 2.5 bathrooms, and about 1,858 square feet. So the price for this fixer-upper is $226 per square foot, which is still a huge number.
Yeah, so the one thing that's nice about when you're buying in Johns Creek, and even if you're getting one of these homes in one of the older neighborhoods and maybe some of the smaller ones, is you're getting a great schools with the property you're purchasing. So if you're just trying to get your family into a good school system, this is a great way to do it.
Yeah, and I have a listing coming up within half a mile of both these houses at 10090 Jonesbridge Road, Unit 8.
Yeah.
And this is going to be a townhouse. Now, the good thing about this particular townhouse is there are no rental restrictions.
Oh, wow, that's unique.
So it's going to be great for investors because it's very hard to find a townhouse community which does not have rental restrictions.
Very true.
Yeah, and this is like a small little subdivision, and we're going to probably price it about between 475 and 480. It's on 3 levels, 3 bedrooms, 2.5 bathrooms, and I believe the price per square foot would be close to about $200, $195 to $200 per square foot. So it goes to show that yes, you can buy affordable investor property or even your own first home in Johns Creek.
Nice, nice.
Now you might be having a listing coming up in a different part of Johns Creek.
Oh, yeah. So over in Seven Oaks, it was one of the neighborhoods that's, I guess it started in the late 80s, if I remember correct. That was when I first got into real estate. I remember back in 1988, I remember these 2 girls worked as a team, and they came into the office. They were so excited. They sold this new home in Seven Oaks. And I was like, where in the world is that? It was like a whole nother, I was down in Buckhead at the time, and I didn't even know where this was. And I remember it was like $200,000. And at the time, that was just like this gigantic sale price. And so working on that, a nice gentleman, older gentleman who's going to be just downsizing, and he needs to sell. Now, home needs a bit of work, and it was kind of an interesting conversation we had. He's like, hey, I just want turnkey. I just want to get step out of this house. He's going to go up north and stay with his son, and he just wanted someone that could handle it turnkey, start to finish. And I told him, hey, look, I can do that. I'll get contractors in there and help get it all cleaned out, and I think it'll be a nice property in Seven Oaks, probably a couple months before we get it on the market, I suspect.
Yeah, and Seven Oaks is one of the subdivisions that we looked at when we were moving to Atlanta, because it's got this gorgeous big fountain as soon as you come in. It's got swim, tennis, and I think in one of our podcasts we even talked about our renting out a property in Seven Oaks off of Magnolia Circle. And if you buy that house today, it'd probably be $1.2 million, but we rented it out to a family for $4,900. So that would be the going rate in Johns Creek for a large 5-bedroom house on a basement.
Okay, and then just some general stats. I guess can we touch on those? So some general sales information. If we're comparing August this year to August last year, the number of homes are actually up about 27%. So inventory's increased a little bit. Sales are down in number, at least in August, about 22% down. Prices. It depends how you want to look at it. Median price point, $810,000. That shows it down 4.7% from August last year. However, average sales price, $915,000, up 0.6%. And I think from both of us just working there, I don't think we would say that the market's really down almost 5% in price. But it maybe has that softening approach where maybe you'll get a little better deal on one property if seller really has to sell or something like that.
Yeah. So. Talking about seller really needing to sell, I just got a house under contract at 720 Eastbourne
Okay, nice.
Off of Abbott's Road.
Yeah.
And it's that little subdivision called Westbury. And one of my buyers decided to make an offer. This house was listed at 720. We got into a multiple offer situation.
Wow.
Which is interesting in this market.
It is.
Because the inventory in Johns Creek is so low that when a house at that price point comes in, there is a lot of demand. So we got into a multiple offer situation. We did manage to secure the property for my buyers, but it was a very tricky situation because the house was being sold as is. The seller was not ready to make any repairs on the property, and we had this other agent who was extremely aggressive in her offer. But I think we won it because our offer was well presented. It was very clean, and we decided to work with the seller and the selling agent. So it goes to show that even in this slowing down market, there are still houses which will get multiple offers, and you just have to make sure that your buyers understand that a clean, when presented offer will definitely speak volumes.
Yeah, and in fairness, this is a great, I'll give you a little plug, because your client was very lucky they were working with you, because you actually were contacted by that agent before it even came on the market. And so it's kind of your ties in the community and your activity that kind of created this opportunity for your buyer. And that's just one of the reasons why sometimes it can be smart to find an agent that really specializes in the area you're trying to work and live in, because without that, they would have missed this property altogether.
Yes, personal connection, and we that agent and me, we've had a couple of smooth transactions in the past, so that definitely helped. And in this market, if you are looking to buy a house or you're looking to sell a house or you just want to get an idea of what the market is like, reach out to Jeff Ahi or Meesha, that's me, and we'd be happy to work with you to understand what the trends are.
Okay, I think that's a great idea.
Absolutely, and that brings us to the end of this episode. This is Meesha Rawal
And Jeff Ahi.
signing off. Till our next episode. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.